All right, everybody. Well, I tried. I couldn't get Instagram and everything up, but welcome. Those of you who are on Zoom, make sure to utilize the chat box, not the Q&A, but the chat box. That one gives me live time um, questions and answers and things like that. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, welcome as well. Make sure to use the comment section to participate tonight. All right. So, happy Monday. Hope everybody's week has started off well. Tonight, what we are going to do is we are going to pick right up where we left off last night. Last night, we did a very quick, very fast review of the third section of the English vocabulary acquisition. And we looked at all the concepts, the skills that you need to be successful in this portion of the test. So, tonight, what we're going to do, like I said, we're just picking right back up where we left off. And we're going to do a practice test together. What I have done is I have split this up into each subsection that we talked about last night, just so you can kind of get an idea of what those real life questions might look like for each of those sections. Just a little bit of housekeeping and to share some good information with you guys. So if you are interested in more live webinars, make sure to take a screenshot of this page, but check out this link right here. This will give you all of our live webinars that we currently have scheduled for the rest of this week. And then, wow, it's already the end of March. We are moving into April. We've got all of our April webinars, and May are coming very, very soon. So if you're just joining in, what a great time to join in. We're about to restart the cycle over. We're doing more webinars and just good information coming your way. And if you are interested in rewatching any of the webinars, that's typically a question I get almost every night. So just to help you guys that are wondering, there's a QR code. We have a QR code for everything, don't we? But there's a QR code to help you rewatch webinars that were previously recorded. These are really good, but I promise you the on-demand are better. So if you are looking for more of that deep dive, then that would be these on-demand videos right there. So if there's something that you really just need to hone in on, take a look at those. Our question bank, it is growing every day, so make sure to check those out. And then if you are interested in tutoring, make sure to check out our link for that as well. We do have a new feature if you might be interested in this. We have our 1 hours that we've been doing, but now we actually have 30-minute sessions. Isn't that wild? So what you can do with those is just schedule yourself for a quick 30-minute tutoring session. Maybe you've got just a little bit of a break for your lunch or something and you want to get in some practice. Check that out, and that actually, would be a little bit cheaper than that hour long. So if you're looking for something, but maybe on a little bit of a budget or a little bit of a time budget, make sure to check out those new 30-minute sections as well. Those have been popular. Students, I think, like those because everybody's busy nowadays, aren't we? So make sure to check that out. If you don't see a time that works for you up there, don't feel like you can't reach out because guess what? We love when students reach out to us. We will try to do as best we can to open up more time, see if we can make something work with our schedule and your schedule. So email us at prenursing@archerreview.com and we will try to do what we can. We really do try to help meet the needs of students. If you are looking to bundle up and you want to access a couple different things, make sure to check out the SurePass and the SurePass Pro. So that SurePass gets you access to the QBank and on-demand videos, but it gives you a little bit of a discount. And then the SurePass Pro, that's really where you're going to get your bang for your buck because you get access to not only the QBank and those on-demand videos that I was talking about, but you get a discount on tutoring. I mean, that's a great resource and a great deal in itself. So make sure to check those out. All right. So anybody got any questions before we get going about any of those resources? All right. Is everybody excited and ready to get started? I've got my sparkling water. I am ready to go if you are. All right. So I see a couple new names that didn't join in last night. So just a quick review. Last night we talked about section 3.1, which was all about the writing process, and we covered 3.2, which was about word parts and how to establish meanings with word parts. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at each section individually and what kind of questions you might should expect from the skills from those sections. So jumping right on in with the writing process elements. This one, wait, hold on. There we go. I don't know. I think I added an extra slide in there. Um, so this one right here, this section is really going to focus on terminology. So remember last night, we really had a big emphasis on making sure that you understood what each of those sections meant. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. Ignore this slide right here. I think that was just an extra little dud that filtered in somehow, but let's go ahead and get started. Using the chat box or the comment section, what would you say the what stage focuses on correcting grammar, punctuation, spelling, and style errors? Go ahead and put in your answer options or your answer selections. Out of all those stages that we talked about last night, which one focuses on correcting grammar, punctuation, spelling, and style errors? All right. So the answer was editing. So remember, when you are trying to look at grammar, punctuation, that's when we're moving down the change um down the chain of the stages. With revising, okay, revising and editing are typically the ones that students get mixed up, and that's okay because, well, we're going to learn from it, but the reason being is that the revising and the editing stage are very similar. Remember how we talked about they overlap. So the revising stage and the editing stage, you do make changes, but with the editing stage, that's where we're really focusing on those mechanics. So grammar, punctuation, spelling, really getting down to that nitty-gritty, fine-tooth comb look over. Okay? All right. Any questions on that one? All right, now let's look at the next one. During the blank stage, the writer translates their ideas into a coherent written piece. So, what stage does the writer translate their ideas into a coherent written piece? What would you say? Hmm. All right, take another couple of seconds. Type your answers in. And the correct answer is writing. Now, if you put drafting, because I did see a couple people throw that one up there, that would also be correct. It is also called the drafting stage. I will say that if it is a multiple choice answer selection, if you see both of those, then that must be a select all that applies. If you see writing or you see drafting, you only see one or the other, just know that those terms are used interchangeably. Now, for a question like this, where it's fill in the blank because they have started moving into those, writing would be, oh, that's okay. So, writing would be the more traditional answer that you would want to go with. Drafting is just one of those ones that they use interchangeably. However, in my opinion, they should use both or accept both. All right. All right. Good practice, everybody. Let's move on to the next one. The blank stage involves gathering ideas, brainstorming, and planning the writing. What would that stage be? All right, so the correct answer is pre-writing. Now remember, brainstorming, that is just one example of a pre-writing technique that you can utilize. So when we are just gathering our thoughts, our ideas, we're starting to, think about what we're going to write, but not actually fully developing an essay, that is pre-writing. Okay. What about this next one? Blank involves reviewing and improving the content, organization, and structure of the writing. What would that one be? Good so far. All right, let's take a look. Everybody's answers in. All right, so this one would be revising. So much like the editing stage that we talked about a little while ago, you're looking over things, you're making improvements, but for this one, we're looking at that broader picture of what the essay consist of. So the content, organization, structure. Do you have your paragraphs in the right place? Do you have solid thoughts and ideas being presented? And then it's only after we get all that stuff in the right place, then we move into the editing and we start focusing on the mechanics like grammar, punctuation that we talked about. Okay? Good. Any questions on that one? All right. Which of the following is a step in the writing process? Now, this one is a select all that apply. So give me your answers. A, B, C, or D. A, pre-writing. B, editing. C, developing. Or D, revising. All right. Last call for answers. All right. So with this one being a select all that apply, we know that we're most likely going to have multiple answers. So this one is A, pre-writing. That's the first step in the writing process. Editing is also a step in the writing process. And D, revising. Okay, so pre-writing would come first. Then you would have writing / drafting. And then you would have revising, editing. Well, conferencing would be in there, so. All right, so A, B, and D. Any questions on that one? You guys are doing so great. Keep up that work. All right. Next one. What is the purpose of the pre-writing stage in the writing process? Is it A, to revise and edit your draft? B, to compile ideas and plan the writing? C, to proofread for grammar and spelling mistakes? D, to receive feedback from others? What is the purpose of the pre-writing stage in the writing process? All right. All right, let's see. So the correct answer is B. Good job, you guys. All right, so remember, pre-writing stage, that's where we're just gathering those ideas and we're going to plan for what we're going to write, not actually do the writing itself. Next question. Which of the following is not a pre-writing technique? Is it A, brainstorming, B, outlining, C, editing, or D, researching? All right. Last call for answers. The correct answer is C, editing. That is not a pre-writing technique. That is a stage of the writing process separate from pre-writing. So brainstorming, outlining, and researching are all three different ways, different pre-writing techniques that you can utilize when you are getting started. Now, someone did have a question about the previous question. So let me just go back really quickly because, we're not going to leave anybody behind. C and D, which stage? So someone asked, what stage is C? To proofread, well, this is a great little pop quiz for you guys. It's a quiz within a quiz. So what would you guys say? What stage of the writing process is C? To proofread for grammar and spelling mistakes. What stage is that? Yes, editing is that stage. What about D, to receive feedback from others? What stage of the writing process would that one be? Yes, it would be conferencing. Conferencing. Okay. And then there was one other question in the chat box. Is mapping also a pre-writing technique? Yes, mind mapping is a pre-writing technique. Good. Good question. Any other questions before we move on? Oh, I love when you guys ask questions. It's really just so engaging. And here's the thing. You should never be ashamed to ask a question because you don't know if you don't ask. All right, so we just did this one, the pre-writing. We said C, editing is not a pre-writing technique. Okay. What about this question? Which stage of the writing process involves refining the draft for clarity and organization? Is it A, drafting, B, revising, C, editing, or D, proofreading? What would you say that one would be? Oh, I gotta grab a blanket. It's just quite chilly in my little office tonight. There we go. All right, so the correct answer is B, revising. So clarity and organization. Remember, we talked about structure, content, organization, making sure that what you say makes sense and aligns with what the purpose of the essay is and the intended audience. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay, let's go on to the next one. What is the primary focus during the editing stage of the writing process? Is it A, developing ideas and arguments, B, correcting grammar and spelling errors, C, formatting and structuring the document, or D, checking for coherence and clarity? What would you say? All right, let's go ahead and check our answer. Go ahead, put in your answers. All right, the correct answer is B, correcting grammar and spelling errors. So editing, remember, we're going over it with a fine-tooth comb. That would be the grammar and spelling. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. This one is actually a multiple choice. So this is a select all that applies. So with that being the case, what would you say would be another correct answer for the editing stage of the writing process? Think about editing. So we're looking at looking at it with a fine-tooth comb. We're not looking at the broad concepts. All right, so actually the correct answer, the additional correct answer would be C, formatting and structuring the document. So the document itself. So making sure it's in MLA. Is it double spaced? Is it in the correct font? Do you have the headers in the right place? That's that fine tooth comb that we're still using. With D, checking for coherence and clarity, that one would more align with the revising stage. Developing ideas and arguments, that would be the what stage? Yes, the pre-writing. Good. All right, what about this question? Which stage of the writing process involves gathering feedback from others and making revisions based on their comments? So you're going to gather their feedback and make revisions based on their comments. Would it be A, drafting, B, revising, C, editing, or D, finalizing? All right, the correct answer would be B, revising. Good job, everyone. So, conferencing would be when you would go out and get the feedback, okay? So, that's when someone else is going to do the review of your work. But when you take that feedback and then make the revisions, that's when it turns into the revising stage. So, make sure to keep that separated. What about this next question? What is the primary concentration of the drafting stage in the writing process? Is it A, checking for grammar and spelling errors? B, revising and improving the structure of the writing? C, generating ideas and organizing them into a coherent document? Or would it be D, polishing the writing for its intended purpose? All right, so the primary concentration is the key word here of the drafting stage. All right. Last call for answers. All right, the correct answer is C, generating ideas and then organizing them into a coherent document. That's just a fancy way of saying we're going to take our ideas we got from our pre-writing and put them into an essay. All right. So remember A, checking for grammar and spelling errors, that would be during the what stage? Yes, the editing stage. What about revising and improving the structure of the writing? What stage would that one be? Yep, revising. And then polishing for the writing for its intended purpose. That would also be in which one? It's one of the ones you've already said. Yep, it would be in the revising stage. Because remember, that's the overall content. Okay. Which stage of the writing process involves the draft for clarity, coherence, and organization? Oh, I think there's a missing word. Involves reviewing the draft for clarity, coherence, and organization. Would it be A, drafting, B, revising, C, editing, or D, proofreading? All right, last call for answers. It is B, the revising stage. Make sure not to get editing confused. Clarity and coherence and organization. That's revising. Okay. What about this next question? During the editing stage of the writing process, what should a writer primarily focus on during the editing stage? Is it A, generating new ideas and content? Is it B, improving the sentence structure and word choice? C, checking for spelling and punctuation errors? Or is it D, seeking feedback from others and incorporating their content? Their comments. Sorry, I can't read tonight. All right. Final call for answers. It would be B. Oh, wait. That one's a why I like just completely missed out on these multiple choice ones. This one has two answers. So it's not only B, it's also what? Yep, it's C. Mm-hmm. So sentence structure. So sentence structure is different from essay structure. So make sure to keep that correct. Word choice, making sure you use the correct words. Like, did you mix up any homophones? And then C, spelling and punctuation errors. Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just in that mindset of only having one correct answer and forgot about select all that applies. Now, someone did ask me a question. Let me go back to it. When would it be proofreading? So that is actually a part of the editing stage. That's when you're looking at your grammar and mechanics. That's when you're doing your proofreading. So proofreading is not a separate stage as it's listed, for this content. It is not a separate stage. Proofreading would be considered part of the editing stage. Um, yeah, that'd be a good way to think of it. It would be. Mm-hmm. Far as first and second steps. That'd be a good question. Good way to think of it. Would word choice and structure be first and spelling and punctuation be second? In my opinion, yes. But when it's one of those select all that apply, then you don't really have to do like one answer or the other. It would just be both answers. But as far as like committing the writing process, yeah, that's how I would do it. Ooh, you're welcome. All right, let's look at this one. What is the purpose of seeking feedback and engaging in revision during the writing process? Is it A, to ensure the writing is free of errors? Is it B, to finalize and publish the writing? Is it C, to generate new ideas and content? Or D, to improve clarity and effectiveness of the writing? What would you say? Last call for answers. All right, the correct answer is D. Any questions on that one? All right, then. So, what we've done is we've reviewed questions about pre-writing, writing, conferencing, revising, and editing. We've done pretty much a wide range of different types of questions you might see. Hopefully, you're feeling a little bit more prepared, but if not, make sure to check out our Q Bank. There are tons more questions in there to help you practice making sure that you understand what each of those sections contains and how they apply. Okay. All right, so any last questions before we move on to the second section? Conferencing is part of revision. No, it's a separate, technically for this, it's considered a separate step in the writing process. It comes before the revising step. Okay. Good questions, you guys. Now, for the second portion, we are looking at analyzing word parts to establish meaning. So that's just a funny way of saying, really big fancy way of saying, oh, well, we're going to look at some questions where you've got to establish the different meanings of different word parts, or take those word parts and establish a meaning for the overall word itself. Last night, remember, some key terminology that we focused on was prefixes, root words, and suffixes. Root words are that base underlining meaning of the word. Prefixes are added to the beginning of a root word, and suffixes are added to the end of a root word. What's the difference between mapping and drafting? So mapping is a pre-writing technique to help you kind of organize your thoughts into ideas. Drafting is when you actually take those thoughts and ideas and write them into a paper. You're welcome. Conferencing and peer review difference. There is none. That's just, like I was saying last night, different instructors call it different things. But for this test, conferencing is the term, is how it's referred to. Okay. All right, let's get started on this second part and do some practice. I missed the steps in writing. Can you go back? Yeah, right there. So pre-writing, writing, conferencing, revising, and editing. All right, so jot those down. Make sure to review the pre-recorded or re-watch the recordings to focus in on those. All right, so establishing and analyzing word parts to establish meaning. So let's just jump right on into some practice. What would you say the word dislike can be broken down into which parts? Is it A, a prefix dis and a root like? B, prefix dis and a suffix like? C, a prefix die and a root like? Or D, prefix dis and suffix dis? What would you say? All right, the correct answer is, drum roll please, A. It has a prefix of dis and the root word is like. Good. All right, what about this one? What does the prefix un generally indicate? Is it A, opposite or not? B, before or in advance? C, together or with? D, over or above? Okay, the correct answer would be letter A, opposite or not. Next question. What is the meaning of the suffix less? Is it A, full of or characterized by? B, without or lacking? C, in a certain manner or characterized by? D, make or cause to become? All right, last call for answers. The correct answer is B, without or lacking. Think of it try to apply, if you have trouble with determining what the meaning is, try applying that prefix or that suffix in this case to a word that you would already know the definition of. So if you say, oh, that child is motherless, well, motherless, that means they're without a mother. See how I did that? All right, let's take a look at the next question. The word misunderstand can be divided into which parts? Is it A, the prefix miss and the root understand? B, the prefix miss and the suffix understand? C, the prefix my and the root understand? Or D, prefix miss and suffix stand? What would you say? This is a tricky one. Okay, last call for answers. All right, the correct answer is A, the prefix miss and the root understand. All right, let's take a look at the next one. What does the root bio refer to? Is it A, life, B, build, C, speak, D, act, state, or condition? All right, so the correct answer is, drumroll please, A, life. Now, someone asked a good question. How can I understand if the word is root or suffix? Well, this is kind of one of those hard answers. So for me at least, I did tons and tons of flashcards. I did little spreadsheets. So I looked up common prefixes, common suffixes, common root words, and I just really kind of went to town and made me some note cards, and that's what I studied. All right, just so we make sure we have enough time, let's look at the next question. Which of the following words contains a prefix? Prefix. Is it A, happy, B, liability, C, impossible, or D, jumping? All right, the correct answer is C, impossible. It begins with the prefix im, possible being the root word. What is the meaning of the word careless? Is it A, full of care, B, without care, C, caring a lot, or D, carefully none? Carefully done. Not carefully none. Carefully done. What would you say your answer would be? Okay, last call for answers. The correct answer is B, without care. There's that list that we actually just talked about a while ago. Okay, any questions on that one? Okay. Now, what's the next one? Which word has a prefix and a suffix? Is it teacher, B, walked, C, pre-cooked, or D, quickness? All right. If you selected C, pre-cooked, you are correct. Pre being the prefix, cook the root word, and ed is the suffix. Yep. Good job, everybody. Now let's try this next one. What does the suffix able usually indicate? A, full of or characterized by. B, without or lacking. C, make, cause to become. Or D, capable of or able to. Okay, the correct answer is D, capable of or able to. This one actually has that answer in the definition or in the suffix. Any questions? How's everybody feeling? I would say you guys are doing really great tonight from what I'm seeing. All right. What is the meaning of biography? Is it A, the study of living organisms? Is it B, a written account of a person's life? C, the act of going against authority? Or D, the state of being unable to dream? If you selected B, you are correct. A written account of a person's life. So remember we talked about bio means life. Graphy, that's just a written account of. The study of living organisms. Is that what you mean? That would be like biology. Yep. All right, let's take a look at this next one. What is the meaning of the word preheat when analyzing word parts? Now, I would say with questions like this, they say when analyzing word parts. So this is really where you have to stick to the mechanics of it all. Okay. Would you say it's A, heat again, B, heat before, C, heat quickly, or D, heat without control? All right. It is B, heat before, preheat. Pre means comes before. Good, everybody. What does the word happiness mean using word parts to analyze? Is it A, the act of being happy, B, full of happiness, C, the study of happy people, or D, without happiness? Okay, last call for answers. It is B, full of happiness. All right, let's try another one. What is the meaning of the word disassembled? Is it A, to assemble again? Is it B, to assemble quickly? C, to take apart or separate? Or D, without assembly? Go ahead and get your answers in. All right. I'm noticing a pattern. Don't put those question marks behind your answer option. You know why? Because that means you're doubting yourself. And we are strong, capable students. We are going to make assertive answers, okay? Don't doubt yourself. The correct answer is C. To assemble, to take apart or separate. Which word means to make clear or understandable? Is it A, eliminate, B, confuse, C, encourage, or D, frustrate? What would you say? All right, last call for answers. It is A, illuminate. If you illuminate something, you make it clear, you make it understandable. Everybody doing well? Okay. Which word means to express strong disapproval or criticism? Is it A, appreciate, B, praise, C, condemn, or D, compliment? What would you say your correct answer is? Right, the correct answer is C, condemn, to express a strong disapproval or criticism. Good. Everybody still feeling okay? Well, that's it. It looks like we ended on a strong note and just in time. Yep. Now remember, there's lots more to practice in the Q bank. If you're sitting here wondering like, well, how am I going to, know all these prefixes, suffixes, root words? I know you don't probably want to hear it, but practice, practice, practice. Okay? The more you can expose yourself to these words, to these definitions, to these types of questions, what are they asking with the questions? The more prepared you will be, I promise you. Okay? So again, make sure to check out our free live webinars. I'll be back again actually tomorrow night. I've got a reading one, so we'll be doing the test prep. And then Wednesday night, I'll be right back again with another practice test, this time for the reading portion. So if you want to go back and watch the videos, you can take this QR code, the second one right here. You can highlight that with your phone and select it, and that'll take you back to where you can rewatch webinars. Now, if you're looking for the on-demand videos, those are the ones that are time-stamped and you can go back in and look at, specific sections. They also come with handouts. Those are the on-demand videos. Big difference there. Any other questions as we wrap up for tonight? All right. Well, I am so glad that you guys joined in tonight. I hope that you can come back tomorrow night. For some reason, you can't scan. Let's see. Can I zoom in? Here you go. Can you see on my screen? Let me just go back up a little bit. What about now that I've done that? Can you scan that QR code? You have a good night as well. Yes, I'll see y'all tomorrow. For the person that was saying they couldn't get the QR to scan, were you able to get that to scan now that I zoomed in? Oh, okay. Let me know if it works. Okay. Now, if you can't get it to work, don't beat yourself up. Email pre-nursing at Archer Review. I'll put it in the chat box. And try that email and let him know that you just want that link. And he will probably get back to you within less than 24 hours. All right. Well, it's time to log off. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Okay. Yeah, email him and I'm sure he'll get you squared away. All right. Well, you guys have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow, okay? All right, y'all.